Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to, well, Wednesday night this time. But it's Avenger Pretenders. Back once again to review the newest episode of She-Hulk. That's right, it's the Geek and the Redneck, Sully and JT, coming to give you their opinions and what they think. So, we know you don't really. That's all. Grab your adult beverage or whatever it is you want to drink, some snackage. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Sully, it's all yours.
Oh, yay. Why, thank you, sir. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Avenger Pretenders. We are live. We're having a good time because that's how we go. Want to say hi to everybody in our chat room. Thank you for tuning in tonight. We are going to be tackling episode, what is it, 6 or 7? 7, right? 7 of She-Hulk.
Did you not listen to the intro?
I don't pay attention to anything when I'm doing things. Yeah.
So when I'm talking, you shut your ears down.
Yeah, pretty much.
Until you hear Sully, and then you're like, oh,
that's me. That's my cue. I
did something I don't normally do, though, when I'm getting ready for the intro. I actually muted my microphone instead of just shutting up.
Oh, well.
So when you said the go, I actually had to close the chat box and then jump down and unmute my microphone. And I damn near hit the wrong freaking button and almost disconnected.
Whoops. Well, it could be worse, I suppose, you know? I mean...
Would have been a fun way to start the show.
Right? Completely
Where the hell
muted.
JT go?
Completely muted, going, you're supposed to be doing the intro, dude. You know, just saying.
Or just dropping out of the... Completely be sitting there going, where the fuck JT go?
Yeah, where'd he go? What the hell? The nerve. So, hello, everybody. Once again, welcome to Avenger Pretenders, and we are doing episode 7 of She-Hulk 7. For some people, they're like, yay, She-Hulk's almost over. Yay.
You know, I have really, of all the stuff that we've reviewed, even to include Star Wars, knowing how much I love Star Wars.
Yes.
Of all the ones that we've reviewed up to this point, I have to honestly say that I have enjoyed this series more than any of the other ones.
Wow.
Really enjoyed and kind of, you know, gotten into and just kind of gotten lost, you know?
Yeah, and that's kind of saying something because you you love Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Oh, I mean, Falcon and Winter, to me, it's tied with Falcon and Winter Soldier, and actually maybe just a little bit ahead of it because of the comedy factor that we've had involved in, plus the fourth wall thing, which they mastered it in this series. They mastered how to play with the fourth wall.
Yes.
And not blow it up.
Yes.
Like just put a little bullet hole in.
Fire in the hole. Which they've done a spectacular job on.
They have. I mean, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But yeah, I've really enjoyed it. You know, like with Star Wars and with, you know, Falcon and Winter Soldier and Loki and stuff like that. I even when I'm watching it for a second, third time, my brain still is thinking, looking for things and trying to catch things and stuff. It's not doing that. So, and I don't know why, but for some reason, I've just been able to enjoy it a lot.
Yeah.
Weird.
Well,
it's weird, but
yeah,
I'm good with it.
It's interesting. It's interesting to say the least. Well, in this episode, this one's called The Retreat. And
this is a weird freaking episode.
Yeah, very weird episode.
Very
weird.
For the next to the last episode in the series, in season 1, they really threw me. I mean, I thought they threw me last week. They threw me for a huge loop on this one with what they did and where they went. I mean, it was just, I'm sitting there going, really?
Yeah, a lot of it, and that's the thing. It's I like how they did things. We start the episode off by seeing Jen get a text from Josh, who she met at the wedding. You know, they were drinking and having a good time at the wedding together.
Her love interest.
Yeah, the love interest. Quoting in quotes, yeah, the love interest. And, you know, it's funny when we were watching it, Christy says, something's not right with that guy. I'm like, yep, full agreement. Full agreement.
With Josh or with me?
Well, yeah, I'm sure you said it too. I'm sure you said it too.
When, you know, because you sit there and you watch you watch all the dates and how everything's going and everything. And then after they do the deed, you know, and it's just like, up to that point, I was kind of okay with him until he ghosted. And that's how well they played me on that one.
Yeah. And we'll get into that. Lady Death says, I knew it was going to end the way it did. We all kind of figured it would end the way it did.
Some of us just got there a little slower.
Because if you think about it, and I'm sure they'll bring it up in the next episode, that was one of those cliche endings. You know? And it was one of those cliche twist endings. Listen, you gotta have a bad guy. You gotta, you know?
Right.
So they do the deed. They get down and busy. They go on a lot of dates. And then finally, you know, she realizes, hey, you know, this is date number 4 or 5, I think they went on, that they showed.
They went on 3 dates.
3 dates, but you know, it was spaced out.
It was like almost like 3 dates, 4 days kind of.
Yeah. And we get to the point where at the law office, Nikki is telling Jennifer about, not to let intelligentsia get to her. And she's just like, I'm not.
well, and the fact that she didn't know that Jen had been nominated for, what was it, female lawyer of the year or something like that.
Female lawyer of the year, yeah.
Some big award.
Yes. And that award just pretty much meant nothing to Jennifer. She's like, whatever.
Yeah, she was a tad distracted about that.
Yeah, a little bit, but not too much. But we get to the point where they, what is it, a Saturday, right? So first she sends a text. She sends a text to Josh, and the text said that, you know, what was it? Had a great time last.
That was fun. I can't stop.
Yes, that was fun. I can't stop smiling, with the smiley face emoji. And any one of us will tell you, kind of a good thing, kind of a bad thing. Just putting it out there. Kind of good, kind of bad.
It depends on how the other person.
Yeah, and it depends on how you see it. You know, it looked like she was, you know, opening herself up to somebody finally. You know, it's like, hey, my guard is down. Maybe this could potentially be something great, so on and so forth. And then as she's doing yoga and watching TV, she's checking her phone and checking her phone and checking her phone and checking her phone. And we go through all of Saturday, and then Sunday comes around, and she gets a call from Blonsky's parole officer. And it was him saying, hey, listen, he went off monitor. You got to come with me to see if he actually became the abomination again. And they get there. And she says, well, you know what? It's probably a good idea that you called the his lawyer, because what if he did? I got to be there. So they take a road trip. She takes a road trip, and she's heading up. And I don't know. To me, it seemed like the road trip was really long because she kept checking her phone too.
Well, when you do that, it just makes the miles crawl by.
Yeah, big time.
It just forever.
Big time. So they get to Blonsky's retreat, and she gets out of the car, and she's just Jennifer. She's just Jen. And the parole officer says, you might want to, what is it you call it? Become big. And she goes, Hulk out. Yeah, that. You should Hulk out.
Right.
So he goes, I just want to make sure that, I'm safe, because if he does become the Abomination again, I want to be protected. Which, hey, you know what? I get his point of view. Hands down, 100%. Will not question it whatsoever.
Right.
No,
he says, we don't have the financial ability for a squad of officers to go up with me.
Yeah. So it turns out as he checks the monitor, it was actually shorted out by an electrical fence. It's the only explanation. He goes, no, I haven't turned into Abomination since I got parole. That was the deal. The monitor will tell if he becomes the Abomination or not. But because of the electrical fence, it shorted everything out. So it looked like he was off monitor, yet he was wearing it.
But let me ask you, why did he get the jolt from the electrical fence?
Probably because of one of the other people on the...
Nakia nailed it.
What? Oh, yes.
Favorite chicken. His favorite chicken was stuck in the fence.
Yep. Favorite chicken was stuck in the fence.
So it caught a shock of electricity that caused it to go...
Boom.
Not to go off, but interrupt the monitoring of it, which was why they had to...
Yeah. So as he's repairing the monitor, all you see is Jennifer standing in the house with her head like up against the ceiling, holding on to the top. And she's like, okay, are we done here? Like, let's wrap this up and everything. And from there, as they're walking out to the car, they're getting ready to leave. And Man Bull and Aguila come running at each other, and they're fighting.
Right on top of her Prius.
So I'm really glad they brought Man Bull in, because he really is a interesting character.
It does seem that way. I will have to agree with you. I've never heard of him. I've never heard of any of the four of them that are presented. So that was something new for me.
So Man Bull, in the comics, he is more bull-like than human-like. Okay.
Well, I can understand why they made him like they did.
Yeah. He's and don't get me wrong, like, he's changed over the years, but he is more of a he's more of a minotaur than anything, but again, that creative license, you can pretty much change anything that you wanted to. He's not the most powerful, but if I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure his first appearance was in a Daredevil comic. So we're tying things to Daredevil big time right now, and of course, Aguila, I don't know, Aguila always reminds me of Inigo Montoya.
The non-matador?
Yes, the non-matador, Aguila. And I forget, why were they fighting? Were they training, or were they just...
Well, it was a fight, personality clashes. I mean, he looks like a matador and he's a bull.
Yeah.
They were trying to work through their personal issues with each other.
Yeah. And if you think about it, Aguila's kind of more along the lines of a pirate.
He is a swashbuckler.
Swashbuckler. Yes. But he is actually a mutant.
Is he?
Yes,
oh, yeah.
He's a mutant.
He did the... Yeah, yeah.
He's a mutant, and again, we're tying things to other characters that have already been around, because his first appearance, and I just looked it up, was in a Luke Cage comic book, a Power Man comic book. Power Man and Iron Fist, number 58. That was his first appearance. So we're starting to bring in the C-listers now. Yeah, and I don't want to say that Power Man Luke Cage, Iron Fist they're both C-list heroes. They're not. They're Avengers. So I think what may be happening is we may be seeing the beginning of the rebirth of the Defenders that was on Netflix.
This is something that you've been suspecting for a while now.
I have been for quite some time. And that's a good thing. Because let's face it, when those shows got canceled on Netflix, Daredevil, Punisher, Jessica Jones, Iron Fist, whether you liked Iron Fist or not, and Luke Cage, when all of those shows got canceled, we didn't see them for years until everything merged. So now that Netflix lost the licensing...
Did they maybe do that on purpose?
I think they're doing it on purpose now. And one of the biggest issues was at the time, Marvel Television was fighting with Marvel Cinematic Universe. Yes, they tied everything to the movies, or they mentioned the attack on New York or something like that, but they were fighting. Which is why a lot of the TV shows, aside from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., really didn't do very well. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. went 7 seasons, and I loved Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. But the Inhumans...
7 seasons is pretty damn good.
Yeah. The Inhumans bombed. It was horrible. Jessica Jones was great. I'm still watching season 3. I haven't finished it yet, but it was great. Punisher was phenomenal. Daredevil was off the charts. Luke Cage was fantastic. Iron Fist, so-so. So-so. If I have to hear Danny Rand talk about his chi every single episode, that now you're doing filler. But again, the showrunners were fighting with the producers and Kevin Feige, really. Like, no, we're our own thing. And they're like, no, you got to be a part of the universe. You got to, everything's connected. So a lot of those shows, once, either they didn't get renewed or anything on Netflix, that was due to the acquisition of Fox and all the other Marvel entities that are out there. So we had a lot of stuff going on, but, fast forward now, we're bringing in these people that were brought in all these comics. I've been saying it since day one. Everything is connected. You have to pay attention, because in this episode with Aguila and Man-Bull fighting, well, now you're tying it to She-Hulk, which makes perfect sense, because it also ties to other characters that we may be seeing in the Daredevil show when it comes out. Not to mention, potentially, I doubt we'll see Man-Bull and Aguila in the Avengers, but you never know. You never know. It's possible.
Stranger things have happened.
Exactly. Stranger things have happened. Well, in this scene, they destroy Jennifer's car. Flat out just destroy it. And clearly, that pisses her off.
Well, yeah, it pissed me off.
And she hulks out and separates the two of them. And
Man-Bull's running forward, and all of a sudden he just goes,
whoa, wee.
Grabbed him by the horn and flung him like a freaking piece of paper.
Exactly. And while it's destroyed, now she's forced to stay at the retreat. And this does not make her happy, because she's waiting for a text or a phone call.
And she has work to do.
Work to do, yes. And as Blonsky is showing her around, he jokingly tells her she got a text, knowing she's been waiting for one, which she didn't. She didn't. They're walking more, and basically he's telling her, listen, you got to chill out. Let things roll off your shoulders. You got to be, more zen. I like this side of Blonsky. I really do.
To be totally honest with you, it actually makes me. Oh, that's.
Yeah. What happened?
There was something messing with my foot, and I'm like, what the hell? But this side of Blonsky actually kind of scares me.
It does, because something's going to happen.
There's something very creepy about the way that he is. That is creepier. I mean, it was creepy enough when he was in the glass box.
Yeah.
But now he's out and he's free. There's just something not right.
It's a little weird. It's a little
about
weird.
Him. Yeah, it's a little strange.
We get to the point where even Blonsky notices that her mind is elsewhere. And he goes, all right, well, listen, you're stuck here for a while. If you need me,
I'll be around.
I'll be around. And she and we see her walking and walking and walking. She's just holding her phone up in the air, trying to find a signal. And nothing.
Comes across a barn, a building, a shed.
Yep.
Out in the middle of nowhere.
Yep. So that barn, she walks in and she finds Blonsky, Manbull, Aguila. We're introduced to Porcupine and Saracen, and they're doing like an AA type therapy session.
They're having group.
Group. Oh, sure. Okay. Group. If that's what you want to call it.
There's one other thing she found.
What?
A signal.
Yes. Phone signal. One bar.
Thomas from Facebook says, it's your time.
Your time. Not wrong.
Free.
Not wrong. So, and they're going through their therapy session, their group section, which, JT, I got to agree with you. It's a little creepy the way Blonsky's acting. Will we see him go full abomination again? I don't know. Is it all a show? Maybe.
If it happens, I don't think it would happen.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen until maybe season 2, if they have one.
Towards the end of season 2, if they run 8 episodes like they did this one, it'll probably be, I'd say 6, 7, or 8. Which,
hey, it's a possibility. It's a huge possibility.
It's the freaking MCU. Yeah. Anything is possible.
Well, while they're doing their therapy session, Wrecker from the Wrecking Crew walks in and apologizes for being late. And Jennifer just hulks out, picks him up, and is ready to pummel him.
Tossed him across the room into a perfectly stacked pile of chairs.
Yes.
That Manbull had set up.
How dare her do that?
He got so upset.
It's funny because, and again, like we've been saying since episode 1, the breaking of the fourth wall is perfect. It really is. It's subtle. It's not in your face, but she goes, right about this time, we're probably going to do a previously on, and we really should roll that right about now. Previously, and you see previously on, and if she goes, no, that's too far. You got to go forward a little bit.
I know we're going to do a previous on with this, right? And she's kind of looking off to the side, and it's like somebody told her no. No, we're doing it. Previously on him.
And and she reminds everybody that they attacked her. Okay? And they show it. And she reminds, she tells the entire group session that she was attacked. And Blonsky says to her, you should really sit down and talk about your problems. She wants.
Actually, he told her that she needs to sit in the calming chair.
Oh, yes, the calming chair.
You need to sit in the calming chair right now.
Yes. Go
Right
sit
now.
down. Go sit.
Mm-hmm.
So as they're sitting there, Wrecker tells everybody that, he's moved on from the wrecking crew. He was in with the wrong crowd, that type of thing. And at first you're like, all right, nah, I don't really believe this.
Yeah, he's shoveling a little bit of shit.
Yeah. Warning, you might want to look behind you. Just putting it out there. That cat, I tell you.
I don't trust him anymore. I do not trust her anymore.
Big Tank wants to know if we think Blonsky is part of the group that he's trying to get at Jen. You know what? That's a really good theory.
That hasn't crossed my mind.
That's a really good theory. I'm not 100% sure on that one. And the only reason, in my opinion, why I'm not 100% sure is the fact that she got him parole when no other lawyer could.
Right. Okay, so to expand on his idea.
Yep.
Or his thought.
Mm-hmm.
What about her boss? Her boss may have brought her in specifically to do the Blonsky thing, try to get him out on bail, and her boss is the one behind trying.
No, I don't think so.
No? Okay.
I thought
I'd throw it out there. Yeah.
I don't think so.
Thanks. So just a conspiracy?
You know what? I don't think it's a 100% conspiracy just yet. Only because there's some things going on that I have a theory on, and we'll get to that because the theory's definitely after this episode is over. So
yeah. I don't think Blonsky's part of the
yeah, I don't think he's 100%. And the only reason why, and this has pretty much everything to do with this scene, with her reacting the way she did with Wrecker, and you'll just got to hear me out, okay? So as they're talking, she finally opens up about Miller, Josh Miller, the guy that she was on a date with and went and slept with, so on and so forth. And she tells him about the text. It was fun, but I can't stop smiling. And the whole group is like, you moron. They're just like, whoa. You said that was a big mistake. And they tell her that. They're very honest with her. They got no problem saying, hey, you messed up.
And then she reveals the fact that actually wasn't last text.
Yeah, no, it wasn't the last text.
That the actual last text that she sent to him, she said, haven't heard from you in a few days, hoping you're okay.
Yes. Which...
And the group reacted even worse.
Yeah.
To that one.
Yes. And it's funny that it was the guys all giving her the advice of, you dummy.
Yeah, a group of 5 men, woman advice about men.
Yeah. So she goes on to admit that she can turn into a hero anytime she wants. She could be Jen or she could be She-Hulk. She could turn it on, turn it off, do whatever she needs to do. And they kind of convince her that, listen, you don't need to use She-Hulk as a shield. You don't need the armor, so to speak. And that's when they get to the point of, you need to delete his phone number because you've been ghosted. All right. And she does that. She turns She-Hulk off. She just sits there, and that prompts Porcupine to finally take off his mask. And of course, the reaction in the room is, "Whoa! Put the mask back on, you stink."
If I can backtrack a little bit, because something that we didn't mention that I think is a very, very important thing to mention.
Which is?
Because it does tie a lot into her getting ghosted.
Yeah.
The night that they did the dirty deed.
Yes.
As he's getting ready to leave, he takes his phone.
Well, we didn't get to that part. We didn't get to that part yet.
That's right. That's right. Okay.
You're jumping ahead.
My bad.
You're jumping ahead. That's two more scenes.
Sorry.
We're not there yet, man. We're not there yet.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
So here we get to the point, she's made this revelation, of, you know what? You guys are right. Deleted the phone number, right? And she's moving on. Who cares if you got ghosted? Move on. Don't let somebody else control your life. And when she does that, and Porcupine removes his mask, which was a big step for Porcupine, by the way, they tell him, you know what? Don't you feel better? And she goes, yeah, I kind of do.
You honestly feel that all the people in this care for Jen as they do.
Yes. Yeah.
And then comes greatest line in the show.
Please.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm hurting for a yurt.
Hurting for a yurt.
Hurting for a yurt. And the whole group goes, ah!
Yay! And then we get to the point where the tow truck driver's there. They got the car up on the flatbed and they're ready to leave. And she's thanking everybody. And Blonsky tells her, listen, you're welcome here anytime you want. Just
till you get Wi-Fi.
Come on. And yes, she won't show up until they get Wi-Fi.
Not until you get Wi-Fi. I love that one.
And as they're driving away, you can see Jen is, kind of refreshed. She's happier. She's happy being Jen. She's also happy being She-Hulk. She's at that point. And we get to that go to black thing.
Yep.
And then 3 days earlier pops up on the screen. And we see the two of them going in the door after their date, her pulling him close. They're going and doing whatever they need to do. And Miller sits upright, takes his phone, copies everything that's on Jennifer's phone.
Yep.
And sends a text to the Hulk King informing them that he was successful in getting Jennifer's blood. Now, that's where the episode ends. Now, I want to go over and I want to read Big Tank's theory.
Before you do, there's one thing that made me go, huh?
What?
And I don't know if it was for something for the Hulk King or if it was like, a trophy thing for him.
Oh,
when he took a picture of her.
Yeah, nude.
Before he left.
Yeah.
Was it proof for the Hulking that he had actually accomplished it, or was it like, hey, another one of my, notches on the bedpost kind of?
I think a little bit of both.
I found that little part there, I found to be a little creepy.
So I think it's more of proof that he got the sample, because
sure.
As she's Jennifer, you can cut her, you can beat her up, you can hurt her. As the Hulk, you can't.
Right.
So the only way you're going to get the blood is if she's in human form. We've already proven that with the first episode with Bruce studying her blood to repair his arm from Endgame. So we have that tie-in. Now, Big Tank mentions that his theory is Blonsky is part of everything because of the inhibitor he wears. The government let him out to help since he's wearing that thing. Very interesting thought. But I really think there's somebody else at play here. And that person is probably not who you think it is. Because after all, the Hulk King is very, very unheard of. Because in the show, you don't know who the Hulk King is. But there is one specific person that we haven't seen in a while.
What Tank just said.
And that person, yep, Big Tank nailed it. Thunderbolt Ross. Now, mind you, we have a little problem with Thunderbolt Ross. Because Thunderbolt Ross, who was it? What's his name there? Was it? Who was it? What the hell's his name? He just passed away, too.
The guy's like, who?
William Hurt. William Hurt. Thunderbolt Ross. So if you don't know who Thunderbolt Ross is, first of all, in the comics, Thunderbolt Ross is a thorn in Bruce Banner's side. Because he wants the Hulk as a weapon. So he's constantly hunting the Hulk. Which is why he was on the run. You know, which is why they tied the Incredible Hulk together so well. William Hurt, obviously, he was playing Thunderbolt Ross in The Incredible Hulk, reprised his role, technically reprised his role in Iron Man 2, even though that same scene in Iron Man 2 was used in The Incredible Hulk end credits to tie the two together to make them, hey, we're all part of the same universe, but also became the Secretary of Defense with the Sokovia Accords. Now, mind you, William Hurt is dead. He passed away. And I think it was earlier this year. But in the comics, William Hurt, in the comics, Thunderbolt Ross, he becomes the Red Hulk. So now we've got a full circle here because the Red Hulk, he went after She-Hulk in the comics. And if you're going to tie it to the comics, you're most likely going to see Thunderbolt Ross. Now, Big Tank makes a very excellent good point because he says, rumor right now, and this is only a rumor, it's not confirmed, Harrison Ford may be taking over the role as Thunderbolt Ross.
Misinformation.
Not even misinformation. It's all over the place. Yahoo News, NBC, like they're all covering it. They've all mentioned something.
I had to throw that out.
Oh no, completely understandable. But it's one of those things where it is a huge possibility that this could be in fact a true rumor. And if it is, we may see the Red Hulk. Will we see the Red Hulk at the end of the season? Probably not. Will we see the Red Hulk in, the Thunderbolts? Maybe. Possibly.
Tank, calm down now. Calm down. Relax. Take a deep breath.
So he's saying cover up.
We got Tank excited. Cover up. I might be right.
Yes, you very well could be right. It is a really good theory. Very good theory.
It's one to put on the chalkboard.
Yeah. It really is. It's one to put on the chalkboard to see how far we go. Okay? And let's face it, we don't know who the Hulk King is. But who out of everybody in the MCU has a lot to gain from getting her blood because he can't get Bruce's? Thunderbolt Ross. So, full agreement. Hands down, full agreement that we could be seeing Thunderbolt Ross. Big Tank, the whole thing is Ford being in Thunderbolts, but we don't know that yet. It's not officially confirmed. It has not been confirmed. Because if you do a search for Harrison Ford Thunderbolts, it's all rumors. It's all rumors.
Harrison Ford Thunderbolt.
Okay. Now, the other thing is, and this is something that you have to take into consideration, if they didn't announce it at D23, it could be potentially because of Indiana Jones. Okay?
First story that came up on here when I did the search, well, it says Thunderbolts. Lucasfilm may have stopped Marvel Studios announcing Harrison Ford's casting at D23. But they have a picture of him from Indiana Jones. They don't have like just a regular picture of him like the other ones do.
Now here's the other thing, and these are the sources, okay? Hype Beast, the direct comic book movie. We got this covered. None of these have ever been credible sources when it comes to stuff like this.
What about Screen Rant?
Screen Rant, it depends.
I'm gonna shoot you a little article here.
Screen Rant, it really all depends.
Right.
Because I would trust Yahoo News over Screen Rant. Okay? Gotcha. I would.
Gotcha.
And even today, the article from Yahoo, they quote Hypebeast. Harrison Ford is rumored to join the MCU. I will not believe it until it is officially announced by Kevin Feige. Simple as that. Because really, there are only a few actors who have been actively in the MCU that have passed away. Chadwick Boseman, William Hurt.
So in the article that I just sent you, there's a quote, or what I find in a quote, from Jeff Snyder of the Hot Mic podcast. So what I initially heard is that this was a done deal, that they actually wanted to announce him as a cast member in Thunderbolts D23, but that they didn't because Kathleen Kennedy put her foot down and said, quote, "No, we're going to keep the focus on Indiana Jones 5 content. Don't want this to become Harrison Ford you. We're going to keep the focus on 5, right?"
Which is the smart thing to do.
Does make sense.
It's the smart thing to do because the Thunderbolts doesn't come out until the end of Phase 5.
What, 2020?
2025? 2024, 2025. Give or take.
Tank says, I say keep Thunderbolts actor a secret until premiere day.
Not going to happen.
Yeah. It'd be nice if they could. You can't keep, it's damn near impossible to keep it.
Yeah.
Anywhere
really
anymore.
In this case, and don't get me wrong, Marvel does a fantastic job of keeping a secret. They really do. I mean, hell, they couldn't even film Endgame with Tom Holland. They had to have a babysitter and Benedict Cumberbatch and only give him specific scenes for his script, and that was it. Because even Tom Holland said he doesn't know how it ended until he saw the movie. You know? He knew about the death scene with Tony, obviously, but they refilmed that so many different times. So I will flat out tell you, I will not trust any article until it is announced by Marvel. You can't. You can't.
I mean, it's safe to wait and hear the horse's mouth, you know.
Now, will it be cool to see Harrison Ford as Thunderbolt Ross? Yeah, absolutely, it would. Absolutely. But again,
if it's the guy that I'm thinking it is, description and everything, if it's the guy that I'm thinking, Harrison Ford would definitely fit the image and everything of, because I'm thinking you're talking about the general,
yeah,
the army general that was going after movies,
yeah,
and in subsequent movies and everything else.
yep.
If it's the one I'm thinking of, which I think I am, I could see that transition. They're very, very close in the way that they look and their demeanor and everything. I could very easily see that transition being.
Yeah, but again, we're not going to know until it happens. And
Right.
Thunderbolts is so far down the docket right now, it's not even funny. Could they have the Red Hulk? Absolutely they could. Absolutely. Will it be Harrison Ford? I don't think he's going to be doing the motion capture, but he'll certainly be doing the voice and playing the human form.
It'll be interesting to see.
But
I think this last episode for the series,
we're going to get a lot of answers.
Yeah, we're going to get a lot of answers. I think they're going to kind of tip their hand a little bit on where it's going.
Yes, absolutely.
Just to, I mean, you got to. It's the teaser that's going to lead people to come back for season.
Yes. And I mean, even right now, you can't look up any other details because the episode comes out tomorrow. Number one, it actually starts at 3 a.m., but it'll be interesting to say the least. It'll be interesting to see where they go from here because we know Daredevil's going to be in it. They've already shown him in the previews.
6 hours and 13 minutes, folks.
Yep.
For anybody who's wondering.
Pretty much.
Let's set the countdown clock.
So aside from those theories and everything, which is going to be phenomenal to see what could happen, I personally am giving this episode 4 3/4. Yeah, I know. 4 3/4 gamma bombs. Simple as that.
Wow.
Cinematography was excellent. You saw a side of Jennifer that was conflicting. And she finally, they finally showed her lowering her guard. I loved the previously on in the middle of the episode, bringing in all the other heroes and villains into it, and the teaser of the Hulk King. You really can't go wrong with it.
That's the second Hulk King teaser.
Yeah, because we mentioned that a couple of episodes ago. The Hulk King. Dun, dun, dun. Which is why I do have to agree with Big Tank that it could potentially be a government conspiracy to get the blood that they need to replicate the Hulk's powers. Okay?
Tank says Echo's going to unfollow you for 4 3/4.
No, he won't. We talk about the show on a regular basis.
What's
we really
that,
do.
Carol? We didn't even know she was here. Hi, Carol.
Hi, Carol. So yeah, 4.75 gamma bombs. That's what I'm giving it. 4 3/4. Because even though it was low key, it was good.
It was a very low key episode. It was one that, like I said at the beginning, went in a direction that was totally unexpected.
Yes, exactly.
With as much as they deviated in the last episode, for them to deviate even more from that really surprised. And like, I agree, it's a good episode. For me personally, and I think I know why, but for me personally, we're an entire point apart on this one, and I think that's the biggest differential we've ever had.
Okay.
Because I'm only giving this one 3 3/4.
Okay, that's fine.
I think the biggest difference, because a lot of the points that you mentioned, I agree with you on.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the biggest thing that's causing the difference between the two is because you finally got what you've been waiting for since this show started.
More heroes.
With all of the unknown heroes or lesser known heroes finally exposed in the show. You've been waiting for it since episode 2.
Yeah.
Been waiting for it since episode 2. So you finally got it. So I think that's probably where the difference is between the two of us. Now, don't get me wrong. My 3 3/4 is not saying it was a bad episode.
Right.
They did the best breaking of the fourth wall of the entire series in this episode with doing the previously on.
Yes, they did.
In the middle of the episode.
Yes.
That not only broke the fourth wall, that broke the fifth wall in my mind. Okay.
Now,
but I think that's where it was a great episode. I loved it. It was neat seeing, I guess you could say, real human side.
Yep.
Of Jen, the real human side, not just, the grappling with the work thing.
Yes.
And everything. It was really good to see that. So it was a great episode in my opinion, but not. Yeah, I can't even move it up to 4.
Okay.
But it's close. Close.
Lady Death is giving it 4. So that's good. Now, just to touch up on the theory before we end the episode, because we do have a couple more minutes left.
Right.
So there's a couple of articles out there on some theories of who the Hulk King could be.
Oh, okay.
And they've got a couple of options. One of them is Todd Phelps. If you don't remember who Todd Phelps is, he is one of the billionaire, playboy, douchebag people that she went on a date with.
Dickwad.
Dickwad, yeah. Well, pretty much. But, again, and this could potentially be, hey, listen, it's, it's just a theory,
Mm-hmm.
It would make sense in a lot of ways.
I could see them stretching it to that, but I think it would be, I think it's a little bit too much.
Well, so the reason that I think it may potentially be a good fit, and there's the picture of Todd Phelps, who's played by John Bass. He is a client of the law office. Remember?
Oh, God, that guy.
Yep, that guy. And he could, potentially
Go ahead.
be the Hulk King. Because if you remember in the date episode, he was talking about vibranium and her skin and they were going into all the details. So it's a good theory. It's a good potential theory on that one.
This guy is worse than the freaking dude from the DA's office that she.
Oh, the other guy.
Yeah, the one that they ended up having to represent in court.
Yeah. Now the other another option is Titania. They're using her as an option. I don't really agree with this, only because we've seen her in action.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to say that's.
I could see her being a player in it, but I can't see her being the guy.
Yeah.
In it, but I could see her being a part of it.
I'm gonna save the option 3 for last because this one makes a little sense too. Another one could potentially be MODOK. MODOK has always been a thorn in the side of the Hulk and everybody in the MCU. Could potentially be Hulk King. It's a potential. And they've already got the Claymation series where Patton Oswalt does the voice for him, but it's a possibility. And I kind of like that option because they are supposed to be bringing MODOK into the MCU eventually. When that'll happen, I don't know, but it'd be really cool. Another one, and again, this goes with the theory that we've all been talking about, is somebody working for Thunderbolt Ross. Who that person could be, no idea, because we just don't know. We just don't know. Big Tank says, remember, Bruce was shocked she survived his blood mixing with hers. Her blood is deadly. Yes, it is. But he was able to heal his arm, so that was a good thing. But yeah, it could be deadly for anybody else who tries it.
Deadly for another human.
Yes.
But, helpful to Hulk, because you've got the family tie there, so you've got the same...
Yes.
Genealogy and DNA kind of strands and structures there that, to me, that would explain that, was the family relation.
Yes. Now, there is one more person, and I saved this for last, specifically because we have seen this person before, and we will see this person again. Dr. Samuel Stearns, also known as Mr. Blue, also known as the Leader, whose blood got mixed with Bruce's in the Incredible Hulk movie from blood dripping into a gash in his head. And Tim Blake Nelson, who plays Dr. Samuel Stearns, already signed on for Captain America 4. Remember how I've stated numerous times that everything's connected?
Never heard you say that in my lifetime.
I know, right? It's weird. We haven't seen Dr. Stearns in 14 years. 14 years. Which means his head is freaking huge now. 14 years. Could he potentially be the Hulk King? I don't know.
If not, he makes a good Elephant Man character.
I don't know. But that's the thing. Could it potentially be that? Anything is possible.
Here's the other phrase that drives people crazy.
Yeah.
We're going to have to wait and see.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's the thing. We are going to have to wait and see.
We're going to have to wait and see. Yeah, that's all there is to it.
We really are, because, unfortunately, and that's the thing.
Big Tank says his head is as big as the MTV animation show from the early 90s. Nice.
Most likely. But
fill that thing with helium, he'd be like the Hindenburg.
But could you imagine if we're right? Clearly we won't find out until tomorrow.
We'll never hear the end of it.
You never will. You never will.
We'll never hear the end of it.
But clearly, we won't know until tomorrow. Or if anything, we might not even know until maybe an Avengers movie or a Secret Wars or something like that. Daredevil, who knows? But it's there.
As we all know, Marvel makes very strategic. They do everything very strategic. Tank, you know what? I might be with you on that one.
Think of it this way, from a filmmaker's point of view, from a comic book fan point of view, from a Spider-Man fan point of view. I can write this shit. Just putting it out there.
I have to agree with Tank. I might just have to quit the show if you're right.
Oh, man, if I'm right.
We'll never hear the end.
And that's not even for me beating a dead horse. If I'm right, holy shit.
You would be reincarnating the freaking horse and then killing it again.
Yeah. I really would.
It would be a daily occurrence.
I would
somehow
have to,
or another.
I would have to get in touch with all my friends who do podcasts on comic book shit and go, I called it. Here's the proof.
Yep.
But again, we're not going to know. We're not going to know until tomorrow. But
All
oh
I
my
can say
God,
is,
if I'm
Lord help
right,
us.
holy shit.
Lord help us all.
It makes sense. That would be one of the best kept secrets.
If you are right, I may actually have to get religion.
I mean, think about just think about it before we end the show. Think about this, okay? If it is Samuel Stearns, because again, I'm leaning toward both, either Stearns or Thunderbolt Ross. Could be both. He's the one who knows more about the blood than anybody. Anybody. Because he studied Bruce's blood. And he had to make more. So he knows he can make more. Hence why he created the Abomination, which therefore makes a really good connection to the Incredible Hulk movie. Just saying. Just putting it out there.
We'll tell.
Only time will tell, but it'll be wonderful. Guys, that is our Avenger Pretender episode for this week. Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern.
Yes.
We will be live talking about tomorrow's episode of She-Hulk.
And Carol, we love you, darling. But the deadline for the name for the Star Wars show, we're going to need that come Monday.
Yeah, we're going to need that come Monday. Cause, yeah.
Or Tuesday at the latest.
Because the Star Wars show is going to, yeah. But we'll just go with that. So for JT and myself, thank you everybody for tuning in. Thank you for being a part of the conversation. I do appreciate it as always. And let's do a raid. We'll do a raid tonight.
And I apologize for the almost spoiler in the middle of the show.
You're right. You kind of almost blew that away. Let's see. We're gonna raid. You know what? Let's see. We're gonna raid Eric the Red tonight. Eric the Red. We'll go raid Eric the Red. It'll be wonderful. Raid channel. There we go. Eric the Red. Boom. He's playing Apex Legends. He's a really nice guy. Love doing everything with him. And make sure you use the Accidental Punch logos with Punchers Unite. Guys, we will see you Monday for Avenger Pretenders and Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern for the Sully Show. We will see you guys later. Say goodbye, JT.
Bye, JT.
Later, people.